What did the most challenging part of this year teach you? The Six of Wands. It taught you that success comes from doing the work. It may have been really fucking hard for you to take the steps that you took this year. And not just this year, the years before. If this is you, if this is your reading, pat yourself on the back. Congratulate yourself. Celebrate yourself. Give yourself credit. You did a lot of fucking hard work. If we haven't met before, my name is Francisca. I'm the owner of Breathe, Connect, Thrive, a healing studio here in Houston, Texas, where I help people release pent-up emotions through conscious connected breath work, replenish their mind, body, heart, and soul in restorative yoga, gain clarity through personal self-discovery, tarot readings. And I combine all of these amazing modalities with coaching, Reiki, and aromatherapy in the 11-session signature program called the Chakra Balancing Breathwork Journey, so that you can bust through limiting beliefs and really ultimately live the life that you want to live that's aligned to your soul's desire. If we have met before, thank you so much for being a part of the Breathe, Connect, Thrive community. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for all of your support. I truly appreciate it. So every year I do an end of year tarot reading. And when looking back at the past year's videos, I was seeing which questions I had used because these are journaling questions that I use every year. And what I've done is taken some of these journaling questions and put them into a tarot reading, which is really great because all we're really doing when we're reading tarot or oracle is asking questions, whether it's a one-word question or it's a full sentence question. We're asking questions, right? And so we're trying to get this information so we can get validation from our spirit too of what is going on in our life and how we can best move forward. It's always about moving forward, right? And so in looking back at those questions, I was like, this is really interesting. Each year there's been a different theme. So the first year it was about soul lessons. The second year it was about challenging events or challenging events and what do they teach you. And then the last year's was unexpected events and closing open loops. And so I thought, wouldn't it be fun to do all three of those readings in today's video? And because this is a 7-year, so 2023 is a 7-year numerology, which is 2 + 2 + 3, which equals 7. And so I was like, well, why don't we just make it 7 cards? So in all three tarot spreads, there are some questions that remain the same. And those questions are, what is your current energy? How can your focus best serve you? I'm also asking, what is the best use of your energy for the rest of December and really the rest of the year? And also asking for guidance from source. But in between that, oh yeah, and there's another question that I'm asking, which is what opportunities came from this event? So what opportunities came from your soul lesson? What opportunities came from unexpected events or the most challenging part of the year? And what opportunities are coming in from these loops that are open that you're now closing? So all of the questions will be listed in the description box below. I highly suggest that you ask these kinds of questions when you're doing your end of year ritual. There is so much to be said for closing out the year, for doing a ritual at the end of the year. Mine typically includes journaling, breath work, and tarot. Yours can include whatever you want. I will make a separate video on an end of year ritual coming up in the next couple of weeks, so be on the lookout for that. But also, if you want to release the energy of this year, 2023, and want to invite the energy of 2024 with a soul shift intensive, then you can join me for that. It's a half-day intensive where we take 4 hours together. We do breath work, we do tarot, we do Reiki, and we do some journaling to help release the energy of 2023. And then also to start planning out 2024. This isn't about resolutions because those hardly ever work. And it isn't necessarily about planning. It's about listening to your soul and what your soul and you and your heart really desire and how to plan things in your life around living that kind of soul aligned life, that soul desire life. And I'm really excited about it. It's the first year I offer it. And so it's a half-day intensive, 4 hours, you and I together, doing breathwork, doing tarot, doing some journaling, doing some planning to help you live a soul aligned life in 2024. With that comes a 2-hour calibration session, which will help you redirect yourself and find your true north anytime in 2024. And it comes with a workbook and all kinds of things. The information is in the description box below. Through the end of December, I am running a couple of specials. And so if you wanted to sign up, go ahead and sign up for that now. You can book your session anytime after December 1st. So after this video comes out, which is on Friday, you can book your session anytime after that. But you have to purchase it before December to get the special deals. So anyways, having said that, I do have 3 readings for you to choose from. I am using crystals with each of the readings. So for the first reading, I am using Lepidolite. So Lepidolite is this beautiful crystal. And by the way, I did bring in the big guns. So all of these crystals are a lot larger than I normally use for the tarot readings, for the monthly tarot readings. But I thought, you know, what better time and space to use it when we're talking about end of year, cleansing out the end of the year. So this first reading, we are using Lepidolite. Sorry, I was going to say Kyanite. That is the third reading. So Lepidolite is really great for anxiety, for releasing anxiety, for soothing, stabilizing, for harmony, for transitions, inner peace, a third eye chakra, and also heart chakra activation. This is the reading that we're going to be talking about loops that are open and how to close those loops. So the second reading, we're using this beautiful amethyst geode. So amethyst, look at this beautiful stone. And by the way, I do have all of these for sale at my studio. So amethyst is a really great stone for connecting to your crown chakra, also enhancing the third eye, really great for calming and enhancing dreams and enhancing clarity and cleansing negative energy. And this we're going to use for the most challenging part of the year or the unexpected event and what it taught you. And then we have the beautiful Kyanite. So blue Kyanite is a really beautiful stone in its raw form for serenity, calming, meditation, stillness, relaxation. Really great for the crown chakra and the throat chakra because it's really great for communication and channeling. So notice that all of these stones have a calming, soothing effect on them because I feel like closing out the end of the year does need some calming and soothing energy. So if you know which reading you'd like to choose, you can click on the link in the description box below. However, if you want to listen to all of these readings, I do highly recommend that because sometimes there are messages and themes that come up in some of the readings that kind of boil over to the next reading, but also like you may have some open loops that you need to close. You may also want to learn about your soul lesson for the year. You may also have had some challenging or unexpected events this year and want to know how to move forward. So I really encourage you to listen to or watch all of the readings, but you can do what you like or apply these readings to different areas of your life. This is your tarot reading and they are generalized. And so if you're looking for a more personalized tarot reading, be sure to click on the link in the description box below so that you can book your session either in person or online. And there is a comment section there when you're booking to say if you want to do end of year reading, but we can always do a specialized, personalized tarot spread for you specifically. So let's jump into the first reading. So for the first reading, we are using Lepidolite. So Lepidolite is a really beautiful stone for soothing anxiety, for stabilizing emotions, for harmony, for transitions, inner peace, third eye, and heart chakra. Really beautiful stone. So we are asking 7 questions because this was a 7-year in numerology. And so let's get into it and see what open loops need to be closed, how you can close those open loops, and the opportunities that may have come from those loops. Oops, these cards are just jumping out. All right. So let's see. For the first card, we're asking, what is your current energy for the month of December? How might your focus best serve you? What open loop needs to be closed? How might you close that open loop? What opportunities can come from this loop? What is the best use of your energy for December and the rest of the year? And always asking for guidance from source. Really interesting here. I love the, wow, okay. So I always love readings just because they kind of give this beautiful energy, but I love the story that's being told. And I also like to see the similarities that are coming up, or the themes that are coming up. And one of the biggest themes that I'm seeing here has to do with your thoughts and how you manage those thoughts, or how you deal with those thoughts, or the anxiety that may come up from thoughts, especially because that is centering your reading in the fourth card, which is how can you close those open loops? And it's so interesting. Look at this. There's loops here. There are loops here. There are loops here in her binding, like how she's bound, but in reality she's not bound. In reality she's looking at herself and she's like, oh my God, look at me, like this is how I feel, and this is how I think I feel, but you are not your thoughts. And so these open loops, how to close these open loops, is to realize that you have so much more power. To realize that there's so much stuff that you've been through over the last year, and not over the last year, I'm hearing like over the last 2 years. So you may have been through this really, like kind of soul journey in your life. And I'm saying that because the opportunities that came from this loop is the temperance energy, this balancing energy, this moderation energy, this energy of moderation, that you really had to learn. Like, you really had to learn to sit with your anxiety. You really had to learn to sit with your feelings, but mostly like sitting with the anxiety. You really had to learn that this year. That's the opportunity that came from this loop. So the loop that needed to be closed, or needs to be closed, is this fast energy, wanting everything to come fast. And I know it's hard because it's something that you've been working on for a long time, it feels like. And so this thing that you've been working on for a long time, this thing that you've been wanting for a long time, it feels like it's here. Because the best use of your energy is this 10 of Cups. I love it. Okay, so it feels like the thing that you've wanted for a long time is here, but it also feels like you put so much stock into it happening right away. And it was always feeling like you had to, this energy of catching up to your dreams, letting your dreams kind of be there for you. It's like almost like, okay, like I believe the dreams are happening. I believe that my desire is happening. I believe that this thing that I want is on its way. But when's it going to get here? When am I going to get it? And then when you have it, like, do I actually feel settled in it? And I'm actually getting this energy of you are feeling settled in it, because this is how your focus can best serve you. The Queen of Pentacles, right? And so the Queen of Pentacles is grounded. She's stable. She's secure. She's put in the work. Like, she put in the work. You put in the work this year. Like, and not just this year, you've been putting in the work for quite some time. Like, you've been setting up the foundation for quite some time. How can your current energy, though, is on the High Priestess. And this is where I'm getting like the two from the High Priestess, but also the duality of sitting between the negative and the positive, kind of walking that fine line of, it's like you're sitting in the field of opportunity, the field of possibilities, right in the middle, in between the best case scenario and the worst case scenario, in the in-between. So if you're sitting in the in-between, then you realize that the best case scenario might be setting up unrealistic expectations of people, unrealistic expectations of yourself. The worst case scenario is probably not going to happen either. Like, you're probably not going to be in that worst case scenario. Sometimes when it comes to building things and working towards our desires and our dreams, if it's about, like a career. Like it's never going to come. And even when I get it, I'm not going to get the money. And even when I have the money, like it's not going to be enough. I'm going to have to live under a bridge. And so we always go to that extreme, right? When it comes to money, when it comes to relationships, I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. I'm never going to be happy. Probably not true. And so those are like the worst case scenarios. The best case scenario is like, I'm going to be a millionaire when it comes to money, or a billionaire now, because a million isn't, you know, cutting it in today's economy. Well, anyways, so, the best case scenario is like, I'm going to win, you know, or I'm going to get this huge, you know, unrealistic amount of money, or I'm going to be, you know, with the most wonderful person, and they're going to have every single trait that I want, and it's going to be the best relationship ever. Now, that is, both of those things are quite possible. Like you can win $1 billion. You can, you know, have a career that makes you billions of dollars. You can have a relationship that is satisfying in every single way, and there's never a fight, and there's never any problems, and you can have the perfect family life. And so it can happen. The truth is that if we sit in the field of possibilities, if we sit in the field of opportunities, this is where your energy will best serve you, your current energy. Sitting in that field of possibilities, sitting in that field of opportunities, knowing that the sun will set, that night will come, that the sun will rise again, knowing that there is a pattern to things, knowing that there is a lot, there's moments of low points, there's moments of high points, there's moments in between. And it's the moments in between, it's the realistic times. It's the times where life is happening and we have to find the opportunity in that. This is the best use of your energy. The guidance from source is don't let the past be a driving force for your anxiety. Don't let people's past wrongs cloud your vision of the future. Learn the lessons and move on. Learn the lessons and move on. The full moon here illuminates all the things that you think that are hiding in the dark. The full moon here illuminates the wrongdoing that others have done. You don't have to point it out. You don't have to point it out. Like people are always trying to protect themselves. Like that's just the truth. Like we are always trying to protect ourselves to our best ability. The guidance from source is to let the wrongdoings that happened happen. Don't dwell on them. Don't let those be the driving force that keeps you in this open loop of like, this is how I feel. This is how I feel. It'll never change. The truth is that it can change. You are the one that holds the power to change that. This is how you can close that loop. Again, the opportunities that come from that loop is this duality, right? So you have two major arcanas in your reading with the current energy and the temperance card. And it's really interesting because temperance 1 and 4 is 5. That's change. 2 for the from the high priestess. This is your 7 year. So this is a 7 year. But I think that that's really interesting with the 7 information. And you end your reading with the 7 of swords. So I feel like that there's a really big thing here. And then in the middle of your reading, there's this 8. So going on to next year, like, do you want to bring this energy in with you into an 8 year? Probably not. You probably do not want to bring this energy into next year with you. So how do you close that energy? How do you close that loop? The best use of your energy is to find the duality in things. Find the dark and the light and sit in the middle. Both of these are sitting in the middle. Both of these are sitting in the field of opportunities, the field of possibilities. There is that space between what is real, like what is really, really happening in this moment. Not your wildest dreams, not your worst nightmares. In the middle, right now, what's really actually happening. If you don't like it, you can shift. You can always shift your energy and know that that is the case, especially with this guidance from source. I do want to do something that sometimes I do. And so what I did was I looked at the bottom of the deck, the Queen of Wands, and this is your parting message, the Queen of Wands. And I feel like this is how you can stay in your heart energy. Know that you have the power to transmute any negative energy. Transmuting the negative energy is taking this temperance, this is the temperance card, right? Taking the alchemy, alchemizing water, turning it into gold, alchemizing the dark, turning it into the light, alchemizing the light, turning it into the dark. We need both. We need that dark rest, cold period. We also need the fire. We need the energy. Know that the fire is within you. Know that you have access to the fire. Know that you can nurture your passions and your desires. And know that even if one candle burns out, you always have access to your inner fire, to your flame. For the month of December and for closing open loops, this is your reading. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please let me know somehow. Also, if you're feeling like I want to know how to close this loop, and one of my heart's desires is to not be in anxiety, you'll want to sign up for the Soul Shift VIP Intensive, and the information is in the description box below. For the second reading, we are using this beautiful amethyst geode. Amethyst is really great for the crown chakra and enhancing the third eye. Really great for cleansing negative energy, for connecting, for calming sensations, for enhancing your dreams and enhancing clarity. This is a really beautiful stone. I love it. I love this beautiful geode. So, okay, so going into the reading, we are doing 7 cards for the reading again, maybe 8. Let's see. What is your current energy? How can your focus best serve you this month? What did the most challenging part of this year or unexpected event teach you? What did this make space for in your life? What opportunities are coming or came from this challenging event or unexpected event? What's the best use of your energy for the end of the month and end of the year? And as always, asking for guidance from Spirit. Alrighty, let's see. Ooh, I love this. Yep. It's really interesting. What's really interesting is I clear my deck quite often. And especially like if I've been doing lots of tarot readings, or if there's just heavy reading that I've had recently, and I feel like both of those have happened. And so I recently cleared my deck. And one of the things that I do when I clear my deck is I turn all the cards in upright, and I also put all of the cards in order, starting from the major arcana down to the pentacles. And what's really interesting is the card snack dab in the middle of your reading of what did the most challenging part of this year teach you, or what was the most challenging or unexpected event and what did it teach you, is the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords is in a reverse position. I think that that's really interesting, because I think that you might have felt like things were really stagnant, like you had to rest a little bit more, and it probably wasn't as bad as you thought it was going to be. And what's really interesting is what this made space for in your life: justice. So there's just so much in this reading. So let's go ahead and get into it. But I just wanted to kind of point those two out. There's this again, like there's this feeling of duality, feeling of looking at things from both sides. Sometimes rest, especially unexpected rest, can make us feel upset. It can feel like it's not fair that we have to take a break when we're not ready to, or that we have to rest when we're not ready to. But what this really did was making space for less of this feeling like these nightmares, less of these feelings like, it made space for less anxiety. It doesn't mean that the anxiety went away. It just means that the anxiety dissipated some, especially because your current energy is on the King of Cups. You end your reading though with the guidance from Source with the Page of Cups. So a message of clear emotions, a message of balanced emotions, a message of like your dreams becoming a possibility. So if there's something that you're dreaming of or had been dreaming of, that you wanted to happen, like there are signs that this is coming your way. Like I feel like Source is giving you signs. And it's really interesting because this morning when I walked into the studio, I don't have it anymore, but I found a small white feather, which, you know, like that can happen, right? Because, you know, you walk in and, you know, maybe it's in your shoes or whatever on your shoes, but this small white feather was back over here, like between this this shelf that I have here, and on the floor there is a power strip, and it was on one of the cords of the power strip. Like how did and it was like really stuck in there. And I'm like, how does that white feather get there? But the point that I'm trying to make is that this white feather is a signal, it's a sign. And so I feel like, oh look, here it is. Here it is. Here's this white feather. And look at it, like it was stuck. Like, I'm like, how do you get stuck there? And it was just stuck on the cords. And I'm like, that's so random, but I don't think it is. Like, I really don't think that it is. I really feel like our loved ones are sending us signals all the time. And I feel like one of the signals that you are going to get is going to be in the form of some type of sign. It's really interesting because there's like this white feather here in this pig that's flying. And so when I look at this card, to be honest, I think of like living, you know, like living in the dreams and not really facing reality, like putting your heart on your sleeve, but you know, not, being in love with the idea of love, which is quite possible. But I feel like, especially with your current energy being the King of Cups, being more balanced, being more intuitive, being more sensitive, being more supportive to yourself. And that support to yourself is really helping you with your focus, which is the Ace of Pentacles, an opportunity for financial growth, an opportunity for stability, an opportunity for possibly a new job. But really what I feel like your focus, how can your focus can best serve you, is to plant those seeds of stability. You know, sometimes when things fall apart, when we're dealing with the duality of the Justice card, and it seems like some things are not fair, when we're looking at the dark and not paying attention to the light, it could really be hard for us to feel stable and secure because it feels like there's a couple of things going on. But with the Ace of Pentacles, it says plant the seeds. And, you know, just because there is an opportunity, it does not mean that it actually has happened. It takes action. It takes inspired action to make things happen in your life. Like, we can dream all day long. We can have promises all day long, but we have to do the work. The King of Cups has done the work. He has gone through all of the stages of the cups, and he has done the work to come out strong, stable, secure, and also emotionally aware of himself, emotionally strong, but also very, very supportive and very, very nurturing. Now, what did the most challenging part of this year teach you? The Six of Wands. It taught you that success comes from doing the work. It may have been really fucking hard for you to take the steps that you took this year. And not just this year, the years before. If this is you, if this is your reading, pat yourself on the back. Congratulate yourself. Celebrate yourself. Give yourself credit. You did a lot of fucking hard work. And success doesn't come from just sitting back. Six of Wands, this is success of having gone to the battle, having faced your demons, inner and outer, and done the hard work. You sat with the feelings of anxiety. This is the opportunity that came from that challenging event, facing your nightmares. You know, so what? Maybe you will not succeed. But the fact that you took action on it sets you up for the possibility and the probability that it would happen, right? And so I love this for you in your reading. I love that the Four of Swords is reversed in this reading. I don't like always read reversals, but in this reading, I feel like this is very intentional. I feel like Source is saying rest doesn't always mean that you can't keep going. Rest almost always means that this is a time for pause, to set your heart to the side, to not be so tied to your heart. So I love that we can live in our heart energy. This is so true, but sometimes when we have our heart on our sleeve, when we wear our heart on our sleeves, when we let all of our emotions be known, it does open the door for people to kind of trample on it. The thing about it is like, if you are in this current energy of the King of Cups, knowing that you can put your heart out there, you can do things with love, and know that not everybody is going to respond to it in that way, but you can still keep yourself whole. You can still have good boundaries. You can still have this time to rest and recuperate, to allow the energy to come to you, to use the sacred feminine energy of like, let me put it out there, let me say what I want, let me do the work, and then let me wait, let me recuperate, let me integrate, because resting is different from recuperating. So when we rest, we're regenerating ourselves, we're letting ideas rest, right? We're giving ideas and things that we've done time to breathe, time to grow, right? Resting helps us do that. But when we're recuperating, you're repairing things that have been broken. And those are two different things. And so you may have been in a period of recuperation and thought that you were resting. But really, Source is saying that those are two different things and you needed both. You needed the recuperation time plus you needed rest. Those are two different things. And that's part of this Justice card, right? That's part of this making space for, it made space for this Justice card. It made space for the duality. It made space for looking at the dark and the light. It made space for balancing it out, you know? Rest and recuperation, two different things. But then there's also this part of balancing the right and wrong, or the things that you thought were right and wrong. Balancing this idea of living in the nightmares and living in the pie in the sky dreams, building the castles in the sky, as some would say. And because I did it in the first reading, I'm going to do it in this one. What is your party message? I love it, because then it's the Page of Swords. So we have two pages in your reading, page. And notice the stark difference. So the Page of Swords gets the ideas, brings them down. If this is about communication, then it's about, you know, communicating with truth and honesty and walking that fine line. Again, there's this line that's drawn with the Justice card. There's this line that's drawn of what did this make space for in your life? But then in the Page of Swords, there's this focus that really happens. And she brings about the idea of focus. She brings about the idea of, you know, honest communication, not being, you know, too overly chatty, and also singling down. Like every time I see this card, it's like whittling it down. You know, all of these swords that were up in the air here, she's brought them, like she's mastered them. Like, look at these swords that are here turned into these ideas, these light bulb moments, these swords that are flying in. Look at the stark difference between that. This is the best use of your energy for the end of the year. I feel like Source is saying that take your nightmares and look at them for what they truly are, opportunities to change. So the nightmares are coming from things that are not real, actual problems. And I know that that's sometimes hard to hear, but the truth is that in this moment right now, you are okay. In this moment right now, you can make a choice. In this moment right now, you can decide how to move forward. In this moment right now, there is the duality of justice. There is the right, the wrong that is being leveled out. And you don't have to feel like it's not going to come. You don't have to feel like there's a lot of stuff that you have to do, because you did the fucking work. Like sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves to say, okay, I did it. Now what's next? Let yourself rest. Let yourself do the work of allowing things to come to you because you have done the work. So that is the reading for the Amethyst Geode. For the final reading, we are using blue Kyanite. This beautiful blue Kyanite stone in its raw form is really great for channeling and communication, third eye chakra and throat chakra. Really great for serenity, calm, also for meditation, having next to you when you're doing any kind of meditation or still relaxation activities. This is a really beautiful stone for all of those things that I just mentioned. And for this reading, we are also doing the 7 cards, possibly 8. We are asking for guidance for you. And what is your current energy? Oops, how might your focus best serve you? If there is a soul lesson, what was your soul lesson this year? How might you integrate that soul lesson? The opportunities that have come from this soul lesson. What is the best use of your energy in December and for the rest of the year? And what is the guidance from Source for you? I love it. So the Chariot is the guidance from Source. And in the middle of the reading, smack dab in the middle, how to integrate your soul lesson. 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups, how to integrate your soul lesson. Know that you have everything that you need. Know that you can feel this feeling of love and independence like you can. Like this is the wish card, right? Yeah, this is the wish card. This is the, like, you can have it. Like if there was a card that said yes in the tarot, this would be one of the yes cards, right? I think it's really interesting because this is how you can integrate your soul lesson. But on the opposite sides of that, so there's the actual soul lesson, which is the Page of Pentacles, and then the opportunities that came from the soul lesson, which is the 4 of Pentacles. Different, completely different energy, flanking the sides of your integration of this soul lesson. So this is your soul lesson for the year. The Page of Pentacles, like knowing that you have to put the work in, knowing that you have to plant the seeds, knowing that you have to find the balance in the planting of the seeds, knowing that you actually have to do the work. But I think it's really interesting that these are flanking either side of this 9 of Cups. So here in the middle of your reading is the 9 of Cups. This is your integration of this lesson. The integration of planting the seeds from the Page of Pentacles, right? But also there's this feeling of like how to integrate it is to like know that you already have it. Knowing that you already have it. The opportunity that comes from integrating and knowing that you can have it is keeping your cards close to you. Sometimes this is looked at as a miserly card, like, you know, someone being stingy or what's the other word for it? I can't think of the other word. Miserly, but there's another word that probably Source does not want me to use right now, or maybe I just can't think of it. But there's this feeling, like I'm seeing this, like hold your cards close to your heart. Like let this be something that you're working on for yourself. You don't have to tell everybody about it. You don't have to go share it with everybody. This is a card of, you know, holding on to things, maybe a little bit too closely. But the opportunity that this brings to you from integrating the soul lesson is that sometimes things are just for you. You don't have to share everything with everybody. Not everybody needs to know. Not everybody's in a space to know. Sometimes people get triggered by your success. And that, unfortunately, we want the people that we love to love us back for who we are and for how we show up. But there is a really big message of self-love in this reading for you, especially because your current energy is this 2 of Cups. This is typically a card of partnership, right? Like equal partnership to someone showing up for you and you showing up for them too, not just one person showing up all the time, not just one person giving. It's an equal partnership, whether this is in love, whether this is in a business partnership, whether this is in a friendship, whether this is in any capacity. In any partnership, both have to give and both have to receive in order for it to be equal. This is your current energy. But before you can receive from someone else, before you can give to someone else, you have to learn how to do that for yourself. You have to set yourself up for this space to be a match to the energy that you want to match with. No, you don't have to have everything figured out before you start anything. Like sometimes you have to start before you're ready. But it's in the doing of the things that we actually start refining what we actually want. So I feel like your current energy is maybe on this feeling of like, let me find this equal and balanced partnership. Your focus, however, can best serve you with the Eight of Cups. Start with you. This newfound energy of love, this newfound energy of intuition, this newfound energy of balanced emotions. How do you find that? The answer is by first focusing on yourself, by first giving yourself that love, by taking care of yourself. How can you nurture yourself? How can you be a match to the energy that you want to bring in? So if there's something where, maybe you're always feeling criticized, how can you stop criticizing yourself? How can you stop taking someone's criticism and making it be about you? Someone's criticism of you doesn't necessarily mean that it has anything to do with you. They're protecting themselves. Let them protect themselves. Let what they're saying be about them. Focus on yourself. Focus on your self-love. This is how your focus can best serve you. Pay attention to you. Don't worry about them. This may be part of the holding stuff close to your heart as well. This may be part of, like, this is what you hold close to your heart. This is what keeps you stable and secure. Maybe there is some money that you hold on to for yourself for a rainy day. Maybe there is some sense of stability that you hold on to yourself for a rainy day. Maybe there are some aspects of your work that you hold on for yourself. You don't have to share everything. That's the opportunity that it brings you. What is the best use of your energy? Again, this is why I'm saying that this reading is really about self-love. Treat yourself well. The Knight of Cups, this fast-moving energy of love, but the horse is in the background. It's not in the forefront, right? The love, the movement is in the background. The movement is always happening. Things are always happening in the background. Change is always happening in the background. How you can do this is to take the Knight of Cups energy and turn that on towards yourself. He's buying flowers. Buy yourself some flowers. He's taking you out to eat. Take yourself out to eat. He made a picnic for you at the sunset. Make yourself a picnic for yourself at the sunset. Really bask in this love of self. And it's really going to get you somewhere. And I love that your guidance from Source is the Chariot. Making the choice to move forward. This duality, again, that keeps popping up in these readings. I love that this is a 7 card because, again, this is a 7 year. And in this card, like it's saying, like you have the choice, You don't have to work as hard though. Like, see this guy on top of the Chariot? Like, he's not working hard. He's sitting there. He's hanging out, right? He's hanging out. And the horses are moving. Right? The horses are moving. He's not. All he's doing is directing the energy. You can be the director of your life. You can be the director of the energy. You can be the moving force, but you don't have to necessarily move. When you're in a car and you're driving, what are you doing? Like, you're pushing the pedal, you're moving the wheel, but you're not pushing the car. You're not in the engine doing the work. And so I feel like Source wants you to know, like, you direct the energy. You do the work. You plant the seeds. You choose the seeds that you're going to plant. You choose the soil. You till the soil. You water your garden, right? And then you step into the ability of, like, I know that it is coming. I know because I made this wish and I know it's going to come, and it may not look like what I want. It hardly ever does. It hardly ever looks exactly as what we think it will look like. Even if we get a vision. Look at this studio. Like, I saw that door and this wall and plants and a curtain, right? It's so different from what I saw. Like, I saw this exact space. I felt someone, and it was a breathwork client walking behind me, someone that I hadn't met at that point. And I probably, it's like, it was the energy of the people that were coming and going to be here. But I did not see this beautiful exposed wood beam that's up here. I didn't see that there was a space. I mean, I think I did see a space, but there was doors. But the funny thing is that it does not look exactly like it did in my dreams. And it's, or not in my dreams, in my breathwork session. And it does not look exactly like, so what the things that you want may not look exactly like you want. But that doesn't mean that you take it and you throw it away and you say it's not good enough. This is why you keep some things to yourself. You keep some things for yourself. You keep some stability for yourself. You keep some groundedness for yourself. You keep some of your ideas to yourself, and you give yourself the love that you deserve. Because guess what? No one is going to love you as well as you can love yourself. No one is going to nurture you as well as you can nurture yourself. You want these things? Give them to yourself first. Know what it feels like to give those things to yourself. Then you direct the energy. Then you direct the energy. Then you allow the energy to move through you and be the catalyst through which the energy moves. And because I did it before, the parting energy is this judgment. Let go of the self-judgment of yourself. Stop judging others. And I feel like I'm being judgy by saying this, but the truth is that, like, how well do you trust yourself? You let yourself off the hook. Quit blaming yourself for the stuff in the past. What has happened, happened. If it could have happened differently, it would have. It didn't. The way that things happened are the way that they happened. You've done so much work by planting the seeds. Now it's time to forgive yourself. Let yourself be free. Let others off the hook too. This judgment card is like, I'm showing up to be judged, right? Whereas this energy is like, you had the power to release the judgment all along. You don't have to wait for Source to release you, to forgive you. Really, it's a self-forgiving. And in that forgiveness of self, in the finding grace for yourself, you find grace for others. But most importantly, you find grace for yourself. Most importantly, you forgive yourself. Most importantly, you let go of the could haves and the would haves and the should haves. And you step in to this divine energy of have, am, be. Because who you are is more than you think. Because you are not as limited as you think you are. You're so abundant, you're so expansive. And if you really knew how expansive and abundant you were in love, then you wouldn't need to use the energy of others to try to fulfill that for you. Find the self-love. Start doing things that nurture yourself. Really start being the partner that you want to attract, whether that's in business or in love or in work or in relationships or in friendships. Love yourself. You've planted the seeds. This was your soul lesson for the year. Doing the work, planting the seeds, finding that stability. Integrate it by knowing that you have it. The opportunities that come from it is knowing that you can keep some things for yourself. The best use of your energy, again, nurture yourself, love yourself, take care of yourself. Guidance from Source is you have all the power to choose the direction of your destiny. You can move, and you don't have to do so much work to move it. So that is the reading for the Kyanite. I hope that these readings resonated. If they did, be sure to leave a comment and let me know. That's it for now. I'll see you next time. Bye.